I can see that you have your canvas all beautifully prepared there. Great job, great job. Now, you know these social distancing measures. We have to keep this sort of distance, but normally I do like to get up close and personal to really just get into my sort of my canvas, you know, and other people's canvases, just to really feel the art. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I am so glad that you decided to sign up for my private art lessons. Over the next 12 weeks, we are going to have such a fun time. We are going to connect not only to the canvas, but we're going to connect on an emotional level with each other, a spiritual level, and I'm sure on some level, a physical level as well. So I hope that you're ready. No, yes, this is the beginner's art class. Yes. Have you not read some of my reviews? Some may say I'm a little bit more flamboyant than your average art teacher. Yes, I like to get very sort of personal, you know. Absolutely, we can get on with the art. Yes. Now, so we've set up our canvases. That's a good start. Obviously, there are many mediums for art that we can, you know, work on. This one in particular is a little bit thicker. So if we wanted to apply, say, an oil paint to the canvas, we wouldn't get any seepage. Although sometimes I do like a little bit of seepage. Anyway, we have many different mediums today, and one of the more sort of start-up mediums that I like to introduce to my students is watercolour pencils. Have you ever used those? Now, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I feel like you're a very sensual person. Just the way that you're dressed, I'm just picking up on that sort of vibe. I see. Okay, well, like art, things are subjective, and if you can hear my stomach at any point, that is due to a couscous salad at lunchtime. Yes, so. Right, you'll see you have some pencils in front of you. Wonderful. So you haven't used these before? No. Okay. Well, it's very, very easy to work with them. They are a wonderful starting tool to the canvas, I feel. Watercolour in itself is much more of a sort of free medium. It's a good one to begin with, much less harsh than using, say, acrylics, oils, things like that. And of course you can get watercolour paints, but I like to begin with a good pencil because I just really feel like it helps you to connect with your canvas. And I'm not sure how much experience you have with drawing. Okay. Right, so I'm really going to have to hold your hand through this, aren't I? It's okay. It's okay, it's your first time. I got you. So, I tell you what I'd like you to do. We're going to draw a tree, okay? So, if you'd like to start with a trunk, I like to draw a nice trunk. Now, you decide where the placement of the trunk is going to be, okay? Are you going to go for the middle? Are you going to go up here? Where would you like to go? The middle, okay, of course. Now, psychologically speaking, the middle tells me that you are bold. You don't mind being centre of attention. That's good. I do like to mix in a little bit of psychology with my teachings. Yes. So, let's begin. A nice strong trunk. Now, obviously, we will be mixing these with a little dash of water, but I want you to connect with the pencil first. So, let's go in with a light touch. Now, nice stroke downwards. Good. Feel free to support your canvas if you want to. Good. Now, the trunk, as we know, starts out a little bit bigger at the bottom and just goes like that. So let's try and capture that a bit. Okay. Good. We've got our nice base there. Excellent. Now, if you'd like to just turn yours slightly so I can review. Excellent trunk. Good work. I can tell that you're a natural. Now, we're going to move on to the tree, and don't worry, I will be showing you how we're going to detail and use these as watercolour pencils. So, we're just getting the basis in. Now, for the tree, is there any particular type of tree you have in mind? Okay. I tell you what, we'll go really generic and basic. A nice sort of just green, luscious, full tree. Okay. So almost picture like a cloud. That's what we'll go with. Okay. Not all art needs to be complex. Just starting out with the basics is just really going to allow us to get to grips with sort of just sizing, dimension, all that sort of stuff. Okay, I've got mine there. Have a little review of yours. Now that is a bushy tree. Well done, I like it. Now, you'll notice you have a little bowl of water there. Fantastic. I've got my little bowl just here. Okay. Now, all we're simply going to do is we are going to get a small paintbrush. Okay. So I have my selection of paintbrushes here, and I've already supplied you with a small brush there. Okay. You've got a couple there. And what we're going to do is we are going to get a fairly small one. I'll go with this size. I'm going to dip our brush in, so just submerge your brush, please. My brush has gone a little bit hard there. We'll just loosen the brush up. Sometimes you do have to do that. So why it's very important actually to keep the tip of your brush nice and wet. Often I like to wrap a little bit of sort of paper around it just to ensure that it stays nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use our paintbrush dipped in the water lightly, and we're going to just disperse the colour a little bit. Okay, so that outline we've put on the paper. So just brush slightly, and you'll see that it's just starting to mix. Excellent. Okay. And what we're aiming to do here is just blend. Okay. Now obviously these are just the edges that we've worked on, so we will be adding more colour. Okay, fantastic. Good. Now I'm using a sort of feathering technique, as it were. I'm sort of just going a bit like this. Okay, so a good sort of wrist action is very important. So we just want to go a bit like this. Fantastic. Okay, let me have a little look at yours. Great. Now what I would do, obviously I can't come closer, but what I would do then is, see, just on the lower part of that trunk, just give it a little bit more of a wiggle there, just down the side. Yeah, but now get your brush a little bit wetter. Okay, and then go in a little bit more. See how it's blending a bit more? Fantastic. Now, I am going to use the same brush just because I like that really sort of natural, authentic energy that sometimes comes with mixing colours. But I'm going to go around the outline of the tree now. Okay, so the nice big bush. Okay, and I'm just going to blend, blend, blend. Feel free to use another brush though. This is your piece of art, okay? Good, good. Absolutely. So in lesson 1, it's just very much about becoming comfortable with, you know, drawing and using the canvas. A lot of my students come from a background of actually not using canvases like this, but just doing sort of little sketches and stuff. So I like to make a point of just really getting to grips with the whole thing, you know? Okay. Good. Look at that. Perfect. I'd say that's pretty good. How are you getting on? Excellent work on your bush. Really good. Like it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start to work on our colour blending. Now, when we think about, say, a brown tree trunk, it may be natural to think we're just going to colour in with brown. Now that would be a common mistake, because within that sort of raw, brown, earthy bark is sort of touches of orange, yellow, green, black, all these different tones that are coming through. And so it's really important, in order to get a sort of really diverse, vibrant image, to do some colour blending. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to go back in firstly with our brown, and I want you really to visualise this really meaty trunk and just picture how the different waves of colour would move through that bark. And I just want you to be very loose with the hand, very, very loose, okay? And imagine it's like sort of jelly. And we're just going to go through, okay? So just don't worry about being too placed. Give some support to your canvas if needed. Lovely. Yes, so I'm going back and forth over the trunk, just detailing in that brown. Now, if you think about a trunk, it's, you know, sort of spherical, it's rounded, it's curved. And when we think about sort of light and shade and shadows and all of that, you want to really get the darker brown on the edges of your trunk. And that gives us more of an idea of the movement around it. So try and focus a little bit on that, okay? So good. I just want you to feel really, really comfortable. And feel free to use a bit of pressure, you know, that gives you a little bit more colour. And remember, this is all going to be blended out, okay? Remember not to forget the base. And for me now, I'm going to actually go in even with a little bit of purple, something a little bit dark, you know? I'm going to blend that into the bottom. Great. Absolutely, let's have a look. So what I would do there is you've got a really, really great base. I'd like to see you be a bit freer. I feel like you're sort of confining yourself a little bit, you know, just let it go, just roll the shoulders back and just become at one with the canvas, okay? So, right, just nice and free. I'm even going to go in with a bit of dark red, okay, because we know with oranges and sort of browns you often get those reddish tones as well. So if you are going to go over the wet, you may get a slight tear in the paper, okay, so just focus on the dry areas for now. Okay. And don't be afraid, you know, I'm going to go in with a black now. Never be afraid, because we're going to blend this all out. Great. Okay. And a little bit of orange. Amazing. Now I don't think you are getting a tight enough sort of grip on the pencil actually. I think you've gone a bit too loose. Okay, so just sort of nice, you know, at the moment it's a bit too loose. You're not getting the pressure of the colour onto the paper. Okay, so just adjust your grip a bit. Good. Okay, I think I'm happy with my trunk. I feel like it's got good integrity. I can see it in a forest. Beautiful. I love it. So, are you happy with your trunk? You're feeling nervous about your trunk? Okay, let's take a look. Now, what are you feeling nervous about? Okay. I want to tell you something now that my old art teacher told me. Never, ever doubt your work, okay? Because that, right there, what you have just done, is raw and from your heart. And that's all we can ask. That's all we can ask. So I want you to pick up your paintbrush, please. We're going to dip it in the water, get it nice and wet, and we're going to blend the trunk. Okay. Lovely. And this is one of my favourite bits. It's quite magical because we get everything blended together. Okay. Absolutely, so you can use a sort of circling technique if you want to, just to blend all those colours in. How are you doing that? Yeah? It's looking fantastic. Really good. I can tell you and I are going to work together very well. Okay. I'll leave mine there. Oh, I can see just a bit more blend at the bottom, I think. We must never forget the bottom. Okay. That's it. Just a nice little sort of smudge in there. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to move on to the nice big bushy bit. So for that, what I like to use is the greens, but yellows as well, even a little touch of blue, not too much, a little bit of brown to show some of the twigs weaving through. So I just want you to use your imagination now. Don't be shy. Okay, you've got the hang of this. You really have. So let's draw on some sort of twig branches first. Okay, great. You can draw this out a little bit like sort of spokes. Yeah. Don't worry too much because, as we know, we can blend, blend, blend. Lovely. Okay, you go at your own pace. Alright, I'm just gonna go in with my green. Now, because we will be blending this, we don't need to be too sort of hard on ourselves with how sort of refined we are with our leaves. We can very much be more free. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in. Absolutely. No, that's really good. There is no right or wrong when it comes to art. It is all subjective. You'll notice I am holding my pencil a little bit stiffer with a bit of a firmer grip. Just gives a bit more of a colour intensity. Okay, good. Excellent. Now, just for intensity's sake, I'm going to go in with little hints of black, okay? Yeah, just place those randomly, okay? The lovely thing about using watercolour in particular is you can be quite free because it's quite forgiving. If something goes wrong, you can just blend it out. Okay, well, I think I am ready to go in with the final swoosh around. How are you getting on? Yeah? Well, that's looking good. Excellent branches. No, I'm liking the bushiness you've got there. You thinking of adding any more bush? A little more bush. Who doesn't like a bit of bush? Add in a little bit more, I'd say. Yeah, why not? I'm going to start blending mine out, and I am going to take a slightly bigger brush. Not too much, but sort of that size. You should have that there. Yeah. Okay, great. And just give it a nice sort of wash over, really blend everything together. Are you getting your canvas nice and wet? Good, the wetter the better. Just really don't be afraid to just really go in. Just blend, you know? Never be afraid. Yes, so what we can do is we're going to sort of blend outwards. So you can even get a slightly bigger brush if you like. Even one like this, if you've got one. You take this one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to sort of just almost do a wash over the canvas, so get this nice and soaked. Okay, and just don't be shy, we're just gonna and this part just really brings everything together. Now, of course, if we wanted to frame such a piece, we may want to do some sort of coating on top to make it sort of shinier. I personally like the au naturel sort of feel. Beautiful. Okay, so there we are. One thing an artist must always do is sign their work. So take a colour of your choice and just do a little bit of thing. Obviously I will sign mine Clarissa, so we'll just a little heart there. Beautiful. Okay, you're going to sign yours. Oh, lovely. Absolutely, do a little dedicated message. That would be nice. You're gifting it to somebody then. Fantastic. A partner perhaps. Would they be interested in the sort of menage a trois, three-way sort of class? No? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just like to encourage people to just embrace art, but that's fine. Wonderful. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure. That is your very first lesson. Obviously, we do have 11 to go. It's exciting. It's very exciting. And I still feel like we can just really just connect more, you know. But I appreciate this is your first time. You're a little bit nervous, and that's okay. That's okay. But how have you found your introduction to watercolour and watercolour pencils? Sure. Wonderful. And any questions at all? Doesn't have to be about art even. No, same time next week. You are most welcome. Of course, please. Yes, yes. Whenever you're ready. Absolutely. I look forward to seeing you then. Alright. Bye bye now. Bye. Oh, fantastic, Clarissa. Another happy student. I think I'll make next week's class potentially life drawing, and I will of course volunteer as the subject matter as always. Right, let's just add a little bit more. Yeah. What a lovely art class.